10 minutes, 3 debates, all about Derby County. Welcome to Where Rams Walk. This week, we're asking the question, just how good is Callum Elder? Why did Paul Warne not stick with a winning team at Luton? And having watched all the teams now, who's finishing at the top and who's finishing at the bottom? We are joined by 3 very passionate Rams fans, and we are grateful for you for watching. If you're just coming across the channel now, we've been going for 20 weeks. We've really massively enjoyed making the content for you. There's tons of other podcasts to listen to, but this is 10 minutes of Derby chat a week. Welcome back, Peyton, Ashton, and Kieran. We're going to jump straight into it. Kieran, start off with you then. Just how good is Callum Elder?
Callum Elder is honestly, he's a fantastic. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure we signed him on a free, but he's been terrific. He was really good against Luton, and he put in some fantastic tackles. He was really solid, and unfortunately, we didn't come away with any points, let alone 3 points. But it wasn't, very effective of him or his performance. I thought he was just fantastic.
Absolutely. So did lots of people on Twitter as well. Jacob Hackett saying, I thought Callum Elder had a really good game yesterday. Still frustrated with the result, but there was certainly a handful of positives to pick out, and he was one of them, in my opinion. Ashton, do you agree with that? Elder was superb.
Yeah, I think of late he's really coming into his own. He's had a bit of, blown a little bit hot and cold, really, with a couple of niggles, injuries and stuff, and obviously sometimes Forsyth ahead of the pecking order. But I thought Friday night he really did have a great game. So hopefully he can, keep up and keep his position and ultimately stay fit.
Absolutely. Peyton, it was so desperately unlucky, the deflected goals. I thought you deserved all 3 points. I didn't think Luton were all that good. Gutted with the result, but not gutted with the performance.
I'm not really too annoyed in general, if I'm honest. I don't want to dwell on it because you just put yourself down thinking about it. It's happened with us. I mean, Port Vale away a couple of seasons ago, we go mental about that game and rave about how good it was and how we came back in the last 2 minutes. But really, it's the same thing. It happens in football. It's kind of just luck. And two goals that went in, fair enough. You can't really do anything about either of them. And I think the performance we put in, especially against how good Luton were, especially the first half, we looked the better side in the second half and probably could have scored 2 or 3. Unfortunate not to, but I think all the players did really well. The tactic was right. The team was right. And I think no bad words should come on Paul Warne or any of the playing staff after that game. And I think we go into Boxing Day with a real chance.
Absolutely well said. However, as you know, we review all social media opinions on this channel, and here's just a few that did want to have a bit of a pop at the manager. Formerly AFC says, here's an idea. Why not play as close to possible as the same team that won 4-0 a week ago? Our away form is 4th bottom. The safety first 5 defenders approach isn't working. And Kieran, I want to get your view on this one. Personally, I thought Paul Warne should have just stuck out with the same team as played last week, just swapped cash for net. It seems we're easy to undo if you just smash the ball at us and we help with the deflections. It's gutting, but it's not a disaster. Where do you stand on this? Warne should have played the same team apart from that one swap mentioned there.
I heavily disagree. Reason being, away games are very different to home games, and they're a different form of pressure. And I also think, as bad as this sounds, when it came up against Portsmouth, I just felt we had the belief that we could win. When it came to Luton, they do have a lot of quality. I didn't think their goals were anything special to shout about, and I think deflections definitely did help them. But, the same team doesn't always work, against a different rival. So I disagree. The substitutions, I think we got wrong towards the end of the game, but I was absolutely fine with the starting lineup.
Absolutely. Well said. There are a couple of people that were on the opposite side of it. Ashton, Harvey says, don't blame the lads or Warney at all. They left nothing in the locker. Unfortunate goals to concede in such a time. Deflections can go anywhere. West Brom and Leeds up next. If we play like that, with the same divine intensity, it's game on. Come on, you Rams. Joe Greg says, time's up. Paul Warne, time to go. So just two opposite ends of the spectrum there. Which camp are you in, Ashton?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm definitely more leaning, obviously, to Warning. One, you can't. I think I'll hold my hands up, but when we're seeing the team sheet, it was a case of why has he changed it, and but hats off to him. It did pay off for vast majority of the game, especially second half. But again, like Kieran said, with regards to the substitutions, I wouldn't say they necessarily cost us the game, but you had Jackson, Kenzo, and Yates. They were absolutely running ragged the Luton defence, and then you bring James Collins on, which hasn't got that pace and presence that the other three have. And Mendes Lang, and I just think that I'm not blaming Warne for the fact that we didn't get the 3 points or a point, but I feel like if maybe put John Brown on, that might have caused a bit of problems up top. I just don't think he helps himself sometimes with the swapping and changing and the substitutions. I think he just digs himself a little bit of a hole at times.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ashton. That point was echoed by Carl, who said, in complete control of that game until, again, we make too many substitutions which aren't necessary, just like the Sheffield Wednesday game. We lost momentum and we lost the balance of the team. Is that fair, Peyton?
I think a lot of people are looking at this like these football players can play 90 minutes every day, every game. Kenzo Harman has just come... Well, he's been at Derby for a while now, but in the grand scheme of things, he's not been at Derby for a season. He doesn't... Still new to English football and the intensity of it. He's a lot better than he was, but there's no way that he can play 90 minutes every week for 46 games in a season right now. And it's the same with Jerry Yates, and it's the same with every player in that team. Maybe bar Curtis Nelson and Jakob Zetterstrom, because they don't really do as much, maybe, and experience. But they can't play 90 minutes. If you play them 90 minutes, you're just risking injury, or you're just risking lack of fitness. And we go into a game against a stronger opposition with a worse side, instead of sacrificing a little bit of the team for 20 minutes of a game we were already 1-0 up in. And it was literally just about holding on, which obviously we didn't do. But that wasn't down to poor defending or poor balance of the team. It was down to giving away a stupid set piece in the corner and maybe a bit of a poor clearance from Curtis Nelson that led to them having 2 attempts that went in, unfortunately. Mm. But you can't blame the manager for having to look at the players overall.
Yeah, I mean, whilst I agree with that point, I think it kind of comes under scrutiny again with Paul Warne with regards to, he's a big avid fitness coach. But once again, we seem to pick up no end of injuries. Secondly, none of them seem to be able to play the full 90 minutes. But again, I think that's a case of the fact that we either go a goal down and we're chasing the game for 80, 70 minutes of it, or it's the reverse roles. We score, they get an equaliser. I just feel like, once again, if we'd have, took our chances, then, we could have had a 2-goal lead, maybe even a 3. And then it's time to sort of rest players. But I just feel like they're busting a gut too much, to get another goal or get a goal or chase a lead, But yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll leave that Luton game aside. There, it would have been up to 11th at one point this weekend. Had you have won that, which is crazy, isn't it? Top half, Kieran. That's exciting, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Right, we're coming to halfway stage of the season now, so we are generally asking you. You've seen every team play near enough. So who's the worst and who's the best side that you've played this season? Not necessarily who you think is going to up, but who blew you off the park. And who could you have scored 8 or 9 against? Peyton, let's start with you. Who's been the who's been the best side that you played against where you thought, wow,
I
out
don't,
football us here?
don't like saying it, but Leeds, yeah. they were very, very good, and yeah.
It's weird when we asked them about who are the worst, they very quickly said you guys as well. So, Kieran?
I know they only scored through, I think it was a free kick, but I thought Sheffield United, I didn't think we were going to ever score in them. We could play on for about 10 hours. I didn't think we were going to score. So, yeah, I think they're justifiably top.
Who's the worst side you played, Ashton, that you could have easily scored more against?
I mean, after the 4-goal thriller, not this Friday, just gone the Friday before, you probably have to say Portsmouth. But to be quite honest, I think there is quite a few sides that I thought, they didn't look, probably QPR, Hull, Plymouth, obviously. But yeah, I'd probably say on the night would have been Portsmouth.
Okay, all right, brilliant. Thank you all very much. It remains to say it's the last one before Christmas, so I want to wish, of course, all of you guys and all our team here, John and Darren, a very Merry Christmas. Wishing you guys at home, of course, watching this, a really Merry Christmas as well. Thank you for all your support over the last 20 weeks as we've made this content for you. We've really enjoyed doing so, and we'll look forward to the next 23 weeks, of course, as well as we hit 2025. Join us next week for our awards show. Have a very Merry Christmas, and thank you for watching. See you.